lot of people today are focusing in on one topic, healthy foods. How do we respond to the growing obesity challenges in our nation? How do we respond to the burden of undernutrition in our own backyards? These are questions we have been asking for years. In the past 6 years, the healthy food issue that has come about is the controversy over the changes regarding the school nutrition standards. Parents and children alike have had strong opinions about the standards, most of which are and still are negative. Respectfully, I want to discuss how I believe the changes have negatively impacted the school lunch and breakfast programs, and how the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010 has worked to turn around this negativity about them. In the fight to defend and protect these programs of America, the Act is doing just that, to ensure that all students are participating in getting nutritional breakfast and lunch meals without having to worry about financial instability. They are pushing the notion of making sure that there is access to these kinds of meals while providing the children and young adults with a healthy eating environment to eat in. What they don't want is having students feel like they are trying to force them to eat certain foods, ultimately turning all of that uneaten forced food into waste. The Act is wanting to give that authority to the individual school rather than making it mandatory nationwide. From a personal standpoint, being only 19 years of age, I am fairly acquainted with the amount of waste being produced by making students get a milk or fruit or vegetable with every meal. I can also honestly say I have contributed to it as well. I have seen firsthand as a high school student how students have reacted by either passing along to another student the food that they do not want or throwing it whole into the trash. In my rural community, there is not a lot of money for the school system, especially not the lunch program. A lot of food that could be salvaged and sold another day is wasted every week. The nutritional standards, along with the demanding nature of the overall functionality of the lunchroom, caused myself and multiple others to start bringing their lunch from home. This can ultimately cause less revenue to come through the lunch program, thus making it even more of a reason to follow this new guideline of the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act has implemented to try and cut back on the amount of waste being produced in our elementary and high schools alike. On the other side of this controversy, they are trying to focus only on the nutritional values of schools. How much macronutrient intake, micronutrient intake, and so on. While these things are important to consider in the foods we are feeding our kids during the school day, this is not looking at the big picture. These nutritional standards have created a domino effect of issues that have come up because of the negative outlook on the nutritional change. They want to work to have these nutritional standards while also working for our lunchrooms to be ergonomically and economically efficient. This is what the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act is all about. So the challenge is this: how can we, as parents, teachers, and students, help in the action of bettering our nation's school lunch programs? We need to educate ourselves on the current food standards as well as our children before they throw away that extra food into the trash. Let's take the initiative to continue supporting the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act and turn that negative outlook on the standards into a more positive one.